Hello and welcome to Kinship Connects, a podcast from SDA Kinship sharing our stories, our journeys. And my name is Floyd Poenitz, and today it is my great privilege to speak with Jesse Martin. Thanks for joining us today.
Glad to be here with you, my friend.
So good to see you. Good to see you. We've known each other for a few years now, and so we're going to get
1982.
Was that it? 1982?
Yes.
Okay.
My first camp meeting, yes.
Wow. Okay, so we're going to get into that a little bit more. Tell me first, where in the world are you today?
I am in Cathedral City, which is about 2 minutes from Palm Springs, California.
So like a suburb of Palm Springs then?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful, sunny Southern California.
But not today.
Not today. Overcast?
Today is the first day of clouds.
Okay. But it's sun shining in your heart, so that's the main thing, right?
All the time.
Okay. So let's back up a little bit and tell me, where did little Jesse, where did you grow up? What was life like for you as a kid growing up?
I grew up in Greenville, Tennessee, with my parents and my stepsister. In Greenville, Tennessee, we started out as an African Methodist Episcopalian family. And then my mom and sister and I joined the Adventist church when I was 7 years old. So then I went to church on both days just to make sure I'm going to get in. But had a wonderful life in Greenville. I couldn't have been raised in a better place, in a better city that loved me and pushed me to be the very best that I am.
Wow, great. Now, my geography is not that great. So Greenville, is that anywhere close to like Southern in that area, or?
It's 2 hours away from Southern. That's where I went to college. Yeah, it's in Upper Tennessee, the pretty part of Tennessee.
Wow.
The mountains, about 10 minutes from the Smoky Mountains.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah. So did you go to elementary academy, whatever, Adventist schools, or was that public school?
I went to public schools, and I'm so glad I did, because I think that's why I'm still in the church.
Oh, great. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, but then for college, you said you went to Southern. What made you decide that?
Because I wanted to see what an Adventist education would be like, to be around good Christian people. It was very educating.
Okay. What did you study there? What kind of major or
music education?
Okay. That was back when it was still SMC?
Yes, it was still a missionary college.
Southern Matrimonial College.
Now you know that wasn't it. Missionary
okay.
position. Missionary.
Okay, got it. Cool. So yeah, okay. And so after graduating from there, where did you head after that?
I was on the road for 5 years with a group that was just starting called Harvest Celebration. We were headquartered in Lincoln, Nebraska, and it was the most awesome time for me. It was really good. It got hard. I was on the road for 5 years, and then I felt that I was getting too old to be on the road, so I settled down.
So you sing? Did you learn this at home, or where did
it's
singing?
All I've known.
It's
all I've known. Yeah, I come from a singing family. My dad we had the perfect quartet. We never sang together as a family, but he was a tenor. Well, not perfect, because my mother and I were both sopranos. And then my sister was an alto, and she played also. So my mom and sister and I sang together.
Wow, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So the question then, when did you realize that something might have been different than Billy and Bobby and all the other boys down the road?
When did I realize it? My gosh. I think all my life I knew it. But at the age of 7, I acted on it. And Billy and Bobby were acting too.
Well, Cool. So
It
yeah, you've
was.
always known, but did you have a term for it? Did you know that that was gay, or you just
Well, we
it
didn't
was
know
just being
gay back
Jesse?
then. I was a homosexual, and I just knew I liked guys. I loved men. I loved boys. I was a kid, but I loved men, and they didn't know I was loving on them. You know, we all had those fantasies from TV of Gunsmoke, and didn't have any black people to look at on TV. It was a white world.
Right.
But those men. But sexually, I was very active growing up and could never figure out why these guys are getting married and all this stuff when they were with me and all this stuff. But I know we had to play the game. We had to play that game of straightness. And it was hard and it was scary and it was lonely also.
There was a lot of don't ask, don't tell. We'll do, but don't talk about it later.
Yeah, yes, that's it.
Oh,
And I did talk, and that's what got me in a little trouble at home
oh,
too. But,
oh. Yeah.
yeah.
Now, how did your family, did they find out about this, or did you tell them?
Well, I told my mom later years, but my dad found out and threatened to kill me.
Wow.
So I made sure I butched it up as much as I could, you know. But it was scary, and it shocked me so much that he would say that, because he was a policeman and a well-respected man in the community. You know, it was the family behind the white picket fence.
Yeah.
That people didn't know what was going on within. But I survived it, and came out to my mom when I got off the road, because she kept going, well, when are you getting married? And I was with someone then. Remember Dusty? Yeah, Dusty and I were a couple. I'd moved to Washington State.
Right.
And so I told her about that, and she was really happy. A surprise to me.
Wow. So that was
Yeah, she really. The hard thing she had was that she didn't know what was going on, and she felt that she'd let me down by not being there.
yeah.
But I reminded her of the time of them. If parents knew, they would send you off to these places and do all this stuff. So I said, you know, it was a blessing that you didn't know.
Yeah.
And she was quite shocked. And I go, really? But she really was.
Yeah.
She was an amazing woman, and she was my hero.
Yeah.
Until the day she died. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. A lot of times we have these blinders on, and we know it's there, but we don't see it. So
yeah. Well, she didn't think anything of it.
Right.
She saw me as her baby.
Yeah.
And but that's who she was with everybody. If you met her, you just melt like butter. You know, and I strive to be like her and love like that. Completely.
I could have met her. She sounded like an awesome woman.
Oh, she was beyond awesome. She really was.
Yeah. Well, how was it at Southern when you were there? I mean, did you date girls and play the game there, or did you know of other gay people in?
I dated my girlfriend for 5 years. We were engaged to get married and everything. And we're best friends to this day. I've never come out to her. My sister did. My sister put me out, but I couldn't care less. I says, you did what? She goes, oh, I thought she knew. I go, no.
Oh, wow. That didn't change anything though, huh?
We had been broken up. When we broke up, it was really hard and she hated me, but I stayed in contact with her because she's an amazing woman, and I love her and her family. And I remember having my mom's 75th birthday, and we did a concert together, the two of us and her husband and her two kids in my hometown, and it was just off the hook. And she's still an amazing musician and woman, and good friend of mine.
Wow. Good.
Yes.
Well, when you were touring with the group, did the group know anything that was the other side of Jesse? No?
Are you kidding? Are you kidding?
Wow. But that was difficult, wasn't it?
There were some thoughts. No, I was still me all the time. I still haven't come out.
Okay.
I mean, if people ask, I just say yes. I don't go blasting it, because that's not who I am Jesse, but who happens to be a gay Seventh-day Adventist proud Christian.
Good. Good.
You know, it's still and always will be. I love my church. You know, Mom taught us to take what we need and let the rest go. And you know me, I do.
That's the way to survive and do it. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is.
Exactly. Exactly. Wow. Wow. Well,
Yeah.
how did you hear about Kinship? And were you looking for a group, or did it kind of just fall in your lap?
Well, baby, let me tell you about it. On the bus I was in, where did he live? I think, oh, Sacramento. No, Arizona. And my friend Dennis had just gotten kicked out of his church in Arizona for being gay. And we were doing concerts at the church, and he came and he says, take this piece of paper and don't read it until you get on the bus or something. Like, don't tell me not to do something. Because I immediately ran to the bus and saw this Seventh-day Adventist Kinship gay support group. And I ran off the bus into the church and grabbed him and hugged him and thanked him. I was alone. I thought I was alone. You know, that was back in the day, and that was in the day when lesbians didn't, and the gays within Kinship weren't even a team. And but it was heaven. And then I would tell in my schedule, and he would have people at different concerts at churches that would Vern, our SDA president, was in Sacramento, and just several people along the road would just like come up and say hi to me. And I'd hugged everybody because I was just excited. I mean, I had nothing to lose.
Yeah.
I mean, what are they going to do? Kick me out of it? Well, whatever.
Wow.
You know.
Wow.
So I didn't worry, because I was loved for being me, and that was it. I mean, there's one family that I stayed with in Nebraska, and she found I was seeing a guy, and she found some letters. And I had a straight friend in the group who just says, well, he's never come on to me or anything. No, he's fine. And he just fought for me. And I got through it. And I've had some close calls, but I got out of it. And I remember one time after we got out the road that we were getting ready to have a reunion at Loma Linda University Church with Harvest Celebration. And two people from Harvest Celebration threatened to tell everybody that I was gay. And I said, go right ahead. I says, it will backfire on you. And it did.
Wow. Wow.
It backfired on them.
Yeah.
Because once again, I was just me. I never tried to hit on anybody or anything like that. I was just Jesse. And you couldn't handle it. It hurt me then. Nowadays I go, okay, whatever. I mean, at 68, I say, it's not my problem, as sure as I finally have gotten that down.
Thank you.
And I'll still love you from a distance.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. No, that's the wonderful testimony of your life. I mean, people love you for you. And
And
all
I
the other
love
things.
them for them too.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. So, I'm always proud when I've watched, and it's been a few years now, but like the Heritage reunions and just all the singing group reunions, it's like my Jesse is up there. He's singing.
Jesse was never in the Heritage.
Well, not Heritage, but when they had the reunions of all the groups singing.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. No, you weren't part of the Heritage group. You were.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, you were Harvest.
They wanted my girlfriend and I both to be, but I couldn't sing that kind of music. And they're nice, but they weren't for me.
They weren't you. Yeah.
I needed some up stuff, baby, not some mellow stuff. But
yeah, you were cutting edge, your group, for Adventist at that time.
Yes, we were, and I was so excited and happy about being in that group. The arrangements were awesome. Our director was amazing, and the songs that he picked were just like yummy.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you something I learned on the road. I will never forget being in this church in the Midwest. And you know how Black churches, we vocal, we let you know you're doing good.
Mm-hmm.
It was a white church in the Midwest, and we just finished this song before the break. called the God Medley. It's just powerful. God is the mighty fortress. And we finished it in dead silence. And I didn't know my mic was on. And I just, all of a sudden I hear coming over the church speakers, well, I guess they didn't like that. And I just went, and everybody just fell out laughing. They explained, they go, well, we're like this. We sit there and we like it at the end. I says, but you make us do better if we hear some noise or something, amen or something. I'm not used to death in the church. And I still haven't gotten used to it. So anywhere I go, I'll amen anybody. If people get embarrassed, whatever.
That's right. That's right. Well, you preached a sermon for them at that church there and told them, give me some feedback.
I wish I had preparation for it.
Yeah.
I killed the sound person. I said, turn the mic off immediately. But it's good for me.
That's great. Yeah. So you came to Kinship camp meeting for the first time. What year was that?
It was 1984. No, 80. Wait a minute. Okay. Was it 82? I met Jack in 84.
What location was that?
Portland.
Portland. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was 80 something, but I was living there. I was living in Vancouver. Yeah. And came.
What did you think of all this new family that you had?
Baby, I was in heaven. I was Floyd. I was so full. I was so overwhelmed. Wow. And because I had people around that thought like me, kind of. And that were gay, but were still in the Adventist realm, and some weren't. And I just felt at home. Good. I still like it. I haven't been to camp meeting in quite a few years, but it's like a homecoming.
Yeah. We miss you at camp meeting.
Yeah, I know. I'm
no pressure.
So busy. I don't take it as, but I'm so busy. I am learning to slow down and to take time for me. Good. And that's hard because and right now with what I'm doing with old gays, oh my goodness. Yeah. The last month we have been going 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, because we're getting ready for two of us who have surgery this week. Well, Bill just had surgery this morning. Okay. And I have it Friday. So we were doing that, but I just enjoyed breathing, and I'm going to get to do that for 4 to 6 weeks now.
Mandatory vacation here.
Mandatory, yeah. But still, I have a concert coming up a week after my surgery, so the first week I've really got to stay off my foot.
You're not slowing down. You're not slowing down.
I'm really energizing for.
Yeah. And we're going to get to that part of it in just a second. I want to tell my listeners about my first camp meeting was in Manuka.
Yes, that's where it was, Manuka.
Yes. And I went there and I didn't know what to expect. And I got there and Mike McLaughlin was the president, I believe, and they were handing out these welcome packages, and it told about, places you could visit in Portland and the schedule of the day or the week. And stuck inside of there was a package of condoms. And I thought, oh my goodness, where have I come to?
You've come home, my child. You're coming home.
It was part of their safe sex because AIDS was really hitting hard at that time. I met so many wonderful people, and then the next year, some of them were no longer with us. That was very traumatic. But we had a talent show. Well, we had lots of singing, and I remember you up front singing all the time. And then we had a talent
first time.
And then we had a talent show, and there were these 3 or more sisters.
Sisters.
Yes. And I think it was you and well, I won't say names. I won't say all the names, but anyway,
you can with us.
My eyes were like, Adventists do this? Because I had seen that, in bars and stuff here, but I didn't realize that Adventists were just people too. Gay people are gay people. Hey, so
Exactly.
and I had fallen in love with you as a person during camp meeting, and then to see you in drag and have you come up and talk to me, it was like, oh my goodness. But with you, I felt comfortable. I don't know, something about Jesse that, yeah, it doesn't matter what you're wearing or not wearing or whatever.
Yeah.
You're the same person, and I felt so comfortable with you.
Yeah,
Anyway,
good. I'm glad.
It was a wonderful, wonderful time. I'll have to look to see if I can find any old videos with that still on it. I would love to.
They're probably not right. I'd like to see them too. You can send them to me.
I'll have to look for some. I will. Yeah, kinship camp meetings have been a real blessing for all of us that have attended through the years. And the music
and joined us as a family that we didn't know we had.
Exactly.
I'm so grateful. And that's why we are in a different place now where we don't need it as much, but we have to constantly remember that there are still those who are coming out.
Right.
And just look at something like this and go, Adventist, wow, who really hate the church, which is sad. I'll tell you something that shocked me, and is going to go to Adventist school, college. I was dumbfounded by how people couldn't think for themselves. I'm like, but you've been in academy, so all your lives you've been told you've done this stuff. And I'm like going, the first night I was there, some guy says, let's go to a movie to see the Poseidon Adventure. I hadn't read the handbook. So I go up to the dean and tell him, Dean, I'm going out to the movie to see the Poseidon Adventure. And he just like went, okay. And I didn't, and I told the guys, I told the dean, we're going, what? You told the dean we're not supposed to go. I said, so I went back to him afterwards. I said, I didn't know I was supposed to lie to you and not say anything. And he said, it caught me off guard, and you're the only person that's ever told me they're going to a movie. So how could I have been mad? I learned racially how this church is screwed up too. I was hurt a lot those first 2 weeks of college, and what happened was I wanted to go home, and thank God for my mom who says, nope, just give it time, stay there. And I was so hurt and angry at these people who were supposed to be Christians, and they weren't speaking or doing anything. And I sang, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, this Black man can do something, so he must be pretty good. And it made me angrier.
Right.
I told him, I says, when I was nobody, you weren't a friend. And so now that I'm singing, I says, I'm still that same person who was scrubbing your toilets, who was doing this around the dorm. I says, I'm still that same person. So, and that at that time, I couldn't be their friends, because I says, you're not liking me for me, you're liking me because, oh, he's popular and all that stuff. And I want people to like me just for me. And I was scared for a long time that I wouldn't be able to make friends after getting off the road. So that's why I went to Washington State, where nobody knew me.
New start, yeah.
I found out I can still make friends.
Right.
So, yeah,
great, yeah. No, our churches, our schools have a long way to go. I mean,
and our world does, and it will never get there.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many layers of problems that we face.
Yes, and the prejudice comes from all the races, not just whites coming to blacks. It's blacks going to whites and Asian and everybody. It's just our world.
Exactly. Kind of an off the cuff, but did you ever think about going to Oakwood?
Yeah, that was my first choice.
And
but I got, the only reason I didn't go is because I got good financial backing from Southern that Oakwood couldn't do. But I was only 2 hours away, and we would go down there, and I would go down there and sing also. And I
really?
With them, yes. So it was a home of mine, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you got your degree from Southern, but you were at Oakwood a lot as well. Okay.
Yes.
Good, good.
And they were asking why I went there too, and I told them money talks.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately,
I was just glad to be going to an Adventist school. I really
yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah. And maybe it turned out for the best, and it taught
It
you some
did.
lessons.
I look back at my life and I say, my goodness, I did this here, I did that there, not knowing where it would take me, but the journey, and it just keeps going, and it is blowing my mind where I am now. I couldn't imagine anything bigger than Knoxville, Tennessee in my world.
Yeah.
And Palm Springs.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just a blessing, and I'm so genuinely happy. And I cry a lot, but I'm fighting it back today, because ever since my cancer thing, I've been crying, but there's always been tears of joy because I'm so thankful, and I can't complain about a thing.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. Is the cancer something you want to talk about? How did that change things for you? Or
yeah, I can talk about it. It was prostate cancer, and I remember going to a doctor who was going to give me the Da Vinci thing, which what they do is put 5 holes, 1, 2 here, and then 2 here, and suck your prostate out. And I looked at the surgery on YouTube and I'm like, going, how do you get that thing out of there? And you tell me, and I told him, I says, I don't want to go through that. I says, I don't want to have surgery. I don't want any chemo. So I went to Loma Linda and with the proton therapy, and talked to the doctor, and went expecting him to tell me the story. And he goes, well, what are you doing here? And I go, what do you mean, what am I doing here? I says, I've got prostate cancer. And he goes, but you don't have hardly anything. It's hardly anything. Look at this. He goes, did you see it? And I go, no. And I looked, I go, well, where is it? So we watched it for a year as it grew. And then we decided to go through the proton therapy. And baby, it was 8 weeks of wonderfulness. It started a month before COVID. And I was scared it was going to shut down. But every morning I went for 8 weeks at 4 a.m. to Loma Linda Hospital. And it was there. The drive was an hour, but the treatment was about 10 minutes. Getting in this little coffin, and they shoot you just in the hips, and then it was done. And it was a year this past August, and I feel so good.
awesome.
And I'm just so thankful, Floyd.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy and
Wow. Good.
I love, because I put my business out on Facebook. I need prayers. It's like I'll be asking for prayers this coming Friday morning.
Sure. Yeah.
Surgery, because I want them to start before Friday to get there before the doctor gets there.
Right.
But yes, it was a wonderful trip. My doctor was just amazing. He would look at me, because it's the first thing I'd gone through a major medical thing without a partner on my side, being a single person. And it was scary for me. And this coming up thing is scary for me too. But I know we're going to make it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We'll be praying for you.
Please, yeah, I know you will.
Yeah, definitely. I will. We will. I don't know how long it's been now ago. It's been over a year, I know, that you sent me a link to say, look at this. And that's all that was in the email. And I looked at it and I went, oh my goodness. And it was a link to, I think it was Instagram, to the old gays.
Or was it Instagram, or was it Facebook?
It could have been Facebook back then. I don't remember.
TikTok.
You have branched out now, so.
TikTok is crazy. It is crazy. We have over 550 some million followers.
Wow.
On all of these things together. And I don't get it, but I'm so thankful.
It's a lot of fun. So how did it start? Tell our listeners a little bit about what's the concept? Where's it, how did it start?
We're neighbors. All of us are neighbors. Robert owns a house catty corner to me, and Mick is his roommate. and we call Bill down the hill Bill because he's down the hill in a senior apartment building, and I'm 2 houses down from Robert. But it just started with us just talking to each other, and the next thing I knew, somebody sent me their first shoot of this, of Old Gays, and I'm like, that's my neighbors. So I saw Robert the next morning and was telling him, I am so excited and happy for you guys. And if you remember how Robert talks at his speed, well, Robert says, well, I wanted to ask you something. I go, well, what is it, Bob? I says, I'm on my way to work. So what do you need? He goes, we need some diversity. And I said, oh, you mean some color?
Add some color to it, yeah.
And then it just took off from that. But it started from John, who is Ryan, who's the guy that asked us all the questions. And he does all the editing. He does every bit of it. Wow. Ryan's amazing. And anyway, they started with it with Grindr. Ryan is working there, and he still works for Grindr now. And he told them that he had these guys, and they're old gays. So that's how it started, just off the hook, and just took off.
Wow.
3 years now we've been doing this.
3 years, okay.
3 years, and TikTok, it'll be a year January. TikTok is what blew us up.
Okay.
Blew us up.
Okay.
And we're doing stuff we never knew we'd do as old gays. It's like, oh, Jesus. I'm having fun with it. We're having fun.
That's what it's all about. Yeah. So if our listeners, if they want to venture out and see you guys online, what's the best place to go and find you?
They can go to Old Gays on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Old Gays.
You got it all covered.
Yes, not the Old Gays, just Old Gays, 2 words.
Okay.
Yes. And make sure you hit those thumbs up things.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Yeah.
And some of the videos are not for the faint of heart, right?
I tell you, they stretched me. Some of them, woo, and it's because of my conservative background, kind of, even though I've never been conservative, but there are still things that I won't do or say. And it is because I'm not comfortable with it, and nobody's going to push me into doing it, even though I've done some things that have been stretching, but there are times you just say, oh, whatever. But there's some things that I won't do, and they respect that.
Good. I've enjoyed it. I get a kick out of it, and yeah.
Did you see the little Nas X one?
I don't think I've seen that one yet. So I will have to look and yeah. Okay.
All of you can.
Okay. Yes. So where is this headed? I hear there's been an offer.
Well, there hasn't been an offer. We're what do you call it? We have our agent are working on getting us a reality show. And if it happens, you'll see a lot of the non-smiling stuff, which is okay,
Yeah.
And but we'll see where it goes. We're still trying to sell that to networks. They're talking to us Monday and Tuesday. Yesterday was Monday and today's Tuesday. So they've been talking these 2 days to see what's coming up, but nothing is official yet.
You were on the Today Show a few mornings or weeks back, right?
Yeah, about a week or 2 back. Yes. Yeah. Did you see that?
Hoda and Jenna Bush. Yeah.
Yes. It was heaven on earth. They're sweet. And then before we got out, Maria Shriver just was there because she was on the segment before us. And all of a sudden she just goes, okay, so I follow you, with that New England accent of hers. And she comes over and hugs us. It was really sweet. And then we were on Drew Barrymore October, the first and second week of October. And that girl, she is just so yummy. She couldn't keep her hands off of us. During commercials, she would come down and just like get and talk to us, and just because we had just done a video the week before, and she liked it and had to have us on the show.
Mm.
And so we went out, and we've had two good ones. I just wish they'd give us an extra day to see New York when we go out.
Yeah. I bet.
But yes, both of them were fine. Hoda was funny because she was talking to Mick about something, and I was really tired, and I was sitting doing this and going, and Hoda was like, "Oh, just say, that's your face is saying something. What is it?" And I was caught so off guard. I went, "Girl, what?" I says, "My face is always getting me in trouble. I'm just looking. I'm
yes.
just being." Except this thing gets me in a lot of trouble.
Uh-huh.
This eyebrow, just like,
People can read that. Yeah.
Yeah. My face doesn't hide stuff.
Yeah. And you were able to sing a line or two on the show.
Yeah, that was and I was so shocked that I did it. I'll tell you, when she asked it, I didn't have a chance to think, and I heard my BFF Jock say, when they ask you to sing, you open your mouth and sing it. And it was like something slapped me here, and I went, I don't even remember what I sang. Oh, and I'm telling you, I'm not going, but I was shocked when it came out of me. I went, okay.
It was nice. Yeah, I was watching and saying, "There's my Jesse, there's my Jesse."
I'll tell you something. I don't answer to Jesse that much anymore.
Just say.
I really do. People go, "Well, why is that?" I says, "Say Jesse. Jesse, look at my face. Jesse. Just say."
Yes.
You smile. I said, it's like I had to teach my mom not to say homosexual, because as your face drops, just say gay.
Right. Right. Yeah. Good.
I've used it for 60 million years,
Mm-hmm.
but this has just become who I am. Just say now.
Yeah. No longer Lady Borghese. Was that the name?
Borghese.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's retired though, right?
Yeah, she's got into flat shoes nowadays. She's put on a little weight nowadays. I call it the COVID waist, but it's still going down, because I found out I really did gain weight, and it bothered me. But I found out that it was from the steroids that they gave me. So I was happy, and I have been losing it, and I'm happy because I won't go up another pant size. I won't go up.
Just refuse, huh?
I refuse. I wear sweaters and it'll go over. But I'm getting it is.
Well, cool. I have really enjoyed this interview, visiting with you, catching up with you. I think we all claim you as ours. Everybody.
Well, I hope so, because you're all mine. Even those I don't want. I mean, I'm not want. I mean, even those that I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I love, and our fans. The thing has been getting the love just walking down the streets, and how people know you with a mask on. But I was in San Francisco last weekend, and this guy turns around. We're going to see Davey Wavy's show, and he turns around just silently, walks by and goes, "I love your videos." And I'm like, I stopped there and go, "How do you know who I am? I got a mask and a hat on." He goes, "You laughed." And wow. I know you're laughing. I said, "Okay, thank you." I said, but those are just mean the world to me, people recognizing us.
Sure. That's going to happen more and more now.
Yeah, and it's a lot of hugging. People go, "Does it bother you?" I go, "No, I think it's love."
Yeah.
I says, and I'm old enough to appreciate it.
Mm.
And we're just trying to ride it as long as we can until it goes boop.
Yeah.
But I've learned over the years to live in the now, because tomorrow's not promised. So just
exactly. Yeah. Which leads me to my final question. Do you have any words of wisdom for the young LGBTQIA plus Adventist coming out?
Yes. First of all, come out in your own time. You might not ever do it, and that's okay. Don't let anybody force you to come out. But you have a whole family to love you and to help you come out, even if you're biological family doesn't. It's going to hurt, but you're stronger than you realize you are. Don't blame the church for anything, because it was you letting them own you all these years. Just learn to be stronger and realize they're doing their best too. So don't judge. Give your parents and friends time to go through this too. When you come out to them, they're just like, boom, like what? And they've been trained one way. So go easy on those that you're coming out to. And don't hurt grandma, honey. But grandma will be on your side more than anybody usually. Yeah, and just live your life and be you. You don't have to come out. Just you know you're out. So that's all that matters. And hopefully you'll find love. I'm still looking again. But I'm enjoying me. I'm just enjoying living life right now.
Good. Great advice. Thank you. We love Jesse because there's only one. There's only one, and love is so unconditional. Yeah. And that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
So thank you. So
I love you too, Floyd, so much.
Oh, thank you. You always put a smile on my face.
Yeah, good. And vice versa.
Yeah. Jesse, thanks for sharing with us today. Thanks for all the people who are listening. We hope that today's podcast was interesting and has given our listeners some things to think about. Exactly. Seventh-day Adventist Kinship is the only LGBTQIA+ affirming community for current and former Adventists. We welcome not only the Rainbow Alphabet members, but also parents, family members who want to learn more about how to support their loved ones, and supportive allies who stand with us to make a difference in our church and our world. You can check us out on the web at sdakinship.org or follow us on social media at sdakinship. And if you have any questions or comments, you can email me info@sdakinship.org. And we look forward to having you with us on the next podcast. And look up Old Gays on almost any of the social medias. Give it a thumbs up, a like, a follow, all those things. Hit the little bell so that you can be notified about the upcoming episodes.
Say hi to me.
Yes, send Jesse a note, and we will see you soon. Thank you very much.